are logged on to Afrik Lounge Radio, Africa's #1 online radio show. We cover Africa.
Welcome to another episode of Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show. I'm your host, Sulaiman Folarin. Afrik Lounge is live on T-Radio V Denver and also syndicated on TrueSpotRadio.com, my True Spot Radio on Mondays. Want to introduce the crew. Toye, what's going on?
Not much, man. Sunday.
Yep.
Go Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos Nation.
Eno, how's it going?
I'm good.
That's good. And our in-house comedian himself, Mr. Nasir. How's it going?
Good, go Broncos.
And
Come on, man.
we can't forget the one man that actually keeps the music going, the best DJ this side of the Mississippi, DJ Concept on the ones and twos.
DJ such and such.
He never talks.
He talks with his hands.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what?
You know what? Music talks.
He talked last week, and
So we cut his mic.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys have to listen to that show last week. I mean, I watched that over and over. Just that part. Gafar was hilarious, man.
And we also can't forget the man who makes it happen behind the scenes. He pushes all the buttons, make sure we get all the good guests. Talk to me. How's it going?
I'm good. Hopefully, I don't mess up today. But
Don't worry, we're used to it.
Hey guys. You have to come back, man.
Exactly.
We didn't have no audio last week.
For anyone watching, for those that are watching and for those that are listening and that will listen in on the syndicated show, we actually have a crew in here that are recording us, so we have to be on our best behaviors, right?
Exactly. You can't say
No way. We're gonna be
We keep it real every day.
Right, keep it real.
No bad words.
We're gonna be ourselves, yeah?
Yeah.
No curse words, though. No
Never.
curses. That's true. I think the only time we had a curse word was when we had Mo Cheddar on, and then she decided to be herself.
Oh, she was the
She got
virus.
Yes.
She was like a virus to us. She was like, can I cuss?
So, now after all the introductions, let's get right into it. It's a packed show. We have Mohammed Alidu. He's a Ghanaian artist. He actually resides here in Colorado, where we come out of, and we'll be having him on the show. It's going to be a real packed show, so definitely sit back, relax, and enjoy that. But before we get into that, we will talk a little bit about the shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. 26 people were shot at an elementary school on Friday. As sad as it is, and as sad as it looks, guns are an issue in our country, regardless of the amendments or the rights to bear arms. Shouldn't there be something done? In this current administration, President Obama's administration, there has been 4 huge killings. One in Fort Hood, Texas, Aurora, Colorado, which is close to us, Tucson, Arizona, and this one that happened just yesterday in Newtown, Connecticut.
And
don't forget
Oregon.
And we had the one in Oregon, but I'm talking in terms of size, in terms of the massive. Now, don't get me wrong, killing is killing, because the one in Oregon happened during the week. But just in terms of the enormity of it and the president having to go all the time to give speeches, granted, that looks great, but can we pass bills? Can we do something to adjust the use of people having automatic assault rifles?
Before we go on, just one correction. Like, I'm looking at it, it's 28 people.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
28.
28,
Thank you for that. Because I thought I was.
It was 26 at first and then 27, I think now.
And
So,
plus,
28.
sometimes CNN will say, "Oh, there are 11 people dead," but their thing on the screen says 7. You know, it's like 2 different stories, so you can't mix numbers.
But regardless, it's not even the size of it's not even the numbers. It's the fact that the amount of kids that were involved. Elementary school kids. I mean, we were talking about this on WhatsApp because it's an application that we all get on, and we were talking about this. And I sat back and asked the question, when do we start to think of change? You can stand in front of a lectern or stand in front of a podium and preach change. When do we really start to think of change? Now, for those who are watching and those who are listening, this is an issue that's happening in our vicinity, so we have to talk about this. We have to touch on it. I mean, Anna, you were going to say something?
Well, I mean, because I work at a school, so when we found out, I mean, instantly, everybody, I think parents got scared and started pulling their kids out because they weren't sure if this was going to happen, you know, if it was like a trend or something like that. But at the end of the day, you know, when you think about people and how you treat people and how you treat people with mental illnesses, you know, there are a lot of different things that are going on. So I think it's twofold. You have to look at how you treat people and how you want to be treated, but then gun control too as well. But me and Toya, we were just talking, and I'm not sure that I don't know what the answer is. You know, I don't think any of us will ever know what the answer is. You know,
I don't necessarily think there's anything that can be done se,
because there are certain things that can be done. But
I mean, you can start from somewhere, but I don't think it's gonna have.
The only thing is just the adjustment
we want it to have.
Thank you. That's a key point. Adjustments. When the laws were passed, when the rights were written, they were written not for the 19th century. They were not written for the 20th century. They were written for that time. If we can't amend the rights to bear arms, then what are we doing? Because if you go back and read it in depth, it was to protect people based on what was going on at this point in time. They didn't. Those men were not thinking 200 years out. They were just thinking in terms of what's going on in their vicinity at this point in time.
The present condition.
And if we're going to make adjustments, we have to make adjustments accordingly, appropriately. And what are some of those adjustments? Like, fine, they said the kid had multiple personalities. Do we make sure that parents who have kids with multiple personalities can't carry guns? And if you're going to buy guns, you must have them in secure places where it's either fingerprinted or certain things of such nature. You know, to bear something like that, there has to be consequences. Because I want to be a gun enthusiast and I want to be able to shoot animals. Fine, that's great. But at the same time, this is not going out to just buying a T-shirt for your kid or buying something. No, this is something that kills people.
But I also want to point out that, I mean, we can talk about gun controls all we want, but you have to face the fact that this society, this American society, that's just what it is. I mean, because you can't tell me there aren't any other country that's got gun laws that's just as loose as the United States, and they don't necessarily go around and shoot themselves up or shoot other people up. I think it's really the fact that kids here in the United States don't know how to deal with their issues. They don't know how to deal with their anger. They don't know how to deal with that kind of thing. And then when you have a society where it's like a cowboy society, you know, like you even hear Americans say, and I'm not trying to say Americans, you even see people from here will say, you know what? If that country don't like us, it doesn't matter anyway. We'll still blow them up. Something stupid like that. You know, and that might be to the extreme, but I've heard it before. You know, so is that notion.
I still don't understand why normal I don't mind people having maybe Glocks and stuff like that in their home. I just don't understand why everyday normal people need AK-47 or machine guns. You can't.
What do you need protection for that? You can't shoot animals with that.
Exactly, like you can't shoot animals with that. So
I was talking to a friend a journalist I've known for years. He works for Yahoo Sports, and we were just kind of going back and forth on text. And he's the one who brought up the way the rights were written, how they've been written. So they look so old, they look so ancient that nobody wants to touch it. This current administration hasn't done anything to curb gun control. There's been nothing done to the only thing they've passed is for people to be able to carry weapons on the train. I think the Amtrak in Pennsylvania. It doesn't help. I don't have any kids, but just to see somebody lose their children, that hurts. You know, like I mean you have a kid. You have a kid. You know, I mean, the people in this room that have kids. You know, it's hurting.
It's devastating.
It is.
It's devastating.
And I don't care how people put it, either the right or the left. People need to sit down and find a way to do something, because at the end of the day, talk is good. If we're not passing laws and we're not making amendments, then we're not going anywhere.
But I think also lobbyists too as well. So you have to know that there are big dollars being pushed.
The NRA is a huge,
it's a huge
group. But this president campaigned in 2008, and I'm
saying
a huge Obama fan. Huge Obama fan. I said it on the show.
But the thing is that after a while now, you guys won't hear anything about.
But this is 4 times.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like the one of Colorado now, I don't even know what's up with the guy anymore. You won't hear anything about him.
He has they already said he has.
He's in trial. I think the trial is still going on.
He's been arraigned and the trial hasn't started yet.
Exactly, but I think he's in like some type of mental institution. He's not out in public. So But again, that's one of those things where people go around. If that guy didn't kill himself, I'm almost certain now that we know that he has personality disorder, he's not going to go to prison.
No.
They're not going to put him in death row.
No.
It's just going to be in another mental institution.
Oh, let's not say that. And I'm not a big guy of the death penalty and
Same
stuff,
here.
but
Yeah.
over here,
When you kill
on
babies,
egg-
though?
I even the Colorado guy, even I forget his name. I'm not even gonna say his name,
Yeah,
but
no point.
even him. I don't care. Yes, mental issues another topic that a lot of the government needs to touch on.
Yeah.
Because there are a
that's
lot of people
big.
that silently have mental problems, and we don't touch on it. But I'm for the death penalty for those guys. I really am.
You don't kill kids.
You just don't. Even
I mean, you just don't kill
anybody.
people.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you have no regard for human life.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
almost like
look-
that eye for an eye
Look
type
at
thing.
the shooting in Tucson, Arizona. The congresswoman Gabby Giffords, she still has speech problems. She really can't.
Oh, yeah.
talk.
I mean, she's
You know,
not
she
the same
can't really
anymore.
walk. Exactly, she's not the same person. I saw her at the Democratic National Convention. I think she was out there to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and it was just it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
hard to
she
watch.
is.
On that note, let's do a quick moment of silence for people who have lost their lives at Newtown, Connecticut. Can't have too much dead air on radio. Actually, real quick, the Queen's Park Rangers of England, the soccer team, wore a black
Yeah.
armband in support.
A lot of
the
them
people
did
A lot
that,
of
weekend.
New England Patriots are wearing
Well, I'm
something.
talking a soccer team in
Yeah.
England.
Oh,
Think
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're across the
Yeah.
pond. They wore black armbands. The players talked to management and said, "We want to wear black armbands in support of the shooting in Colorado."
Yeah.
And these are
You mean
football
Connecticut.
players. Sorry, Connecticut. These
Yeah,
are football
Connecticut.
players, who make
Yeah.
gazillion amount of dollars and pounds, and they were able to see that. So. Big round of applause to the players and Queen's Park Rangers in England, and
Did
they
they
actually won
lose?
that game.
They won
Yeah.
that game.
So
I was
you know
about to say, they better not
everybody.
lose.
They won 2-1.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that they won that
Yeah,
game.
they won 2-1. Also, real quick, before we take a musical break, a Nigerian actress was kidnapped in Imo State, and the demand is 100 million naira. 100 million naira.
We
No,
Africans
guys, it's
need-
not
No,
funny. She was
Africa-
kidnapped-
no, seriously,
she
it's
was
not in
kidnapped
Newton.
today.
I'm
She was
telling you.
kidnapped today
Oh,
in
man.
Kiru
It's alright.
Silvanus.
It'll be back. It'll just be gone for a few days.
But no,
It'll be
dude,
back.
we need to really touch on this topic in Africa and kidnapping. It's good. Like last week, Toya and I were talking. They kidnapped the finance minister's mother,
Mom.
and they said the ransom was $1 billion.
It was
Like,
actually
how can you
2 billion.
even honor that
Dollars-
even
dollars
ransom?
are not-
No, $2 billion.
Dollars.
But they're not check. Now the funny part
Let me do
was
the equivalent. Let me do the translation real quick, but keep going.
the funny thing was like 2-3 days later they're like, all right, we'll reduce it to 200 million naira.
Like I just
And then
Toya
2 weeks
made-
later she turned back with no payment. I'm like, come on,
that's,
man.
we need
So
to
you
do better
wasted
in
our whole
Africa.
time.
All these
Yeah.
kidnappings, all these ships that are the
That's-
government,
that's
African
12
government.
million-
needs to
that's
do
But you
better.
know what? But look at how
$500,000
most of them
when
come
they
into office, though.
Yeah,
It's a
through
clear
coup.
sign. Like it's
Yeah.
not like it's a democracy as much as Ghana's
Yeah.
trying to do it.
Oh, no,
it
no,
took elections were on Friday. Nobody was announced till what Sunday night.
Yeah, oh,
It's
no,
like
no, no.
seriously.
See,
But I mean, they
It-
try. But at the same time, look at the
Trust
root of
me.
everything. You know what I mean? We go through coups first, and then we're like,
Before
all
we-
right, now that you're in office and we shot you out.
Now we're
gonna try doing
like the guy in
democracy. But it never
Madagascar.
ends.
The
It's a
guy in
cycle.
Madagascar.
It's a cycle in Africa. Somalia is another place where a lot of
the pirate-
the pirate kidnapping. Now, with the kidnapping of the Nigerian actress, on my other show, Football Worldwide, we actually had a kidnapped football player, Christian Obodo. He was in Nigeria
I
for
watched it.
vacation, and he was kidnapped. at
While going to church,
He was
yeah.
at church. He was
Right,
in front of.
right
I mean, he
in
told
front
him,
of his
that, and he said the kidnappers told him that the people who the reason why you're kidnapped is the people around you are the ones who told us where you're gonna be.
Just imagine.
Oh,
I
that
think
no-
So the actress herself in Kiru needs to look at the people around her because
course.
there's no way she just got kidnapped
People
Actually,
out of the blue.
I have a really funny story about what you just said because I'm not gonna mention names, but there's a friend of mine that his auntie, I believe, or something, a family member got kidnapped in Nigeria, and the kidnappers, after they took her to the house where they fed her, gave her food and all that, and they actually asked the woman to pray for them, pray for business.
Can you imagine?
Make sure that the business
So they-
booms.
We're gonna take-
I know who you're talking of. But you know what's funny? The player told me, he's like, okay guys, you kidnapped me. You kidnapped the wrong person. And they said, why? well, who's going to give you the money? I'm the one who's going to give you the money.
Yes.
Nobody's going to be able to get into my account to give you the money.
But-
so you guys kidnapped the wrong person. They initially wanted 20 million naira. It reduced to 10 million naira. Then to 200,000 naira. And the guy was like, are you guys really serious?
Yeah.
This is chicken.
It's just no, it's bad. Even closer to home, Bo's dad was kidnapped. Bo's dad was actually only released like a month ago. They had to pay $5,000. Bo's dad was kidnapped. Yeah. Can you? So it's just it's very depressing.
It's
It's
not-
sad.
See, I'm telling you, it's now a business.
But the root of
Before
it,
you know it now, they will have a business card.
The root of it-
Hey, take. I'm a kidnapper.
the root of it all is poverty. It's huge, in the sense that when you look at the majority of, I mean, we talk about America, that America it's the 1%. At least the 99% can still get by. Most of the 99% can get by.
But not in
Not
Africa.
in Africa.
now.
The
The
government
99%
has to
no.
do better.
But
They have to do better.
It's not all on the government.
Yeah,
There's
that's
every-
what I'm
there's
saying.
wealth has to be
It's start
spread.
from the
There are
head.
two, there are two
People
ways. There are
too,
two
yeah.
ways. If you privatize sectors, jobs will come in. If you control sectors, there's no jobs coming in.
In Africa?
Yeah, a lot of those sectors are now privatized. Look at the telephone sector that's privatized in Nigeria and in certain parts of Africa. What has that done? It's
Where's the
created-
money coming from?
But it's created jobs. No, it's not coming directly from the government. It's coming from businesses. You have Airtel, an Indian company who was invested in Africa. They've realized that there's money there. MTN is the
Yeah.
biggest market is not in South Africa where they originate. It's in Nigeria. So when you privatize sectors, what does it do? One of our friends, we were talking about power. They're trying
Yeah.
to privatize power in Nigeria
Yeah,
and in other parts of Africa.
Yeah.
What does that do?
No.
It gives people electricity, but at the same time, it creates
Okay,
jobs.
look at Chevron, Shell, all these oil companies in Africa.
But we
It's-
cannot depend
Depend
on
on-
one sector.
I'm telling you, that's it.
our problem. We started with agriculture before we found oil. We were the number one palm kernel creators in Africa, Nigeria. Then the Malaysians came into Nigeria and learned how to make this stuff. And next thing you know, we're importing King's oil into Nigeria. So we have to find other means. We can't say because oil is our only route. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the leaders are perfect. I'm just saying when they know that if they privatize a lot of sectors, there'll be no dependency on government.
Right.
Joe.
It's
The
true.
boy, Professor Oyeku. That
That I ain't get grey hair.
guy just around.
Let's
I'm
take a
like,
quick
Lord.
musical break, and when we come back, we'll talk to our man Mohammed Alidu. It's Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show on tradiov.com and syndicated on True Spot Radio, my True Spot Radio. We'll be right back.
Beats by SARS. SARS on the beat. 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 SARS on the beat.
It's not long thing you need, and me start giving you all you need. Oh yeah, Sarewa, Sisi Sarewa, Sarewa, Ubeniwa, Sarewa, Owolewa. Baby go down money go do. Sarewa, Sisi Sarewa, Sarewa, Ubeniwa, Sarewa, Owolewa. Baby go down money go do. Sarewa, Sisi Sarewa, Sarewa, Ubeniwa, Sarewa, Owolewa. Baby go down money go do. Sarewa, Sisi Sarewa, Sarewa, Ubeniwa. Baby go down, boom, boom, boom. If you know you are feeling this spiritually, let me hear you say yeah. Alright, let's go. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, are you ready now? Samba, 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 Omaro, samba, 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 Jayo, samba, 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 Omaro, samba, 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 Jayo, samba.
beat. Oh, your body beat. What? Hit my head, hit my head, my head.
You are now in the musical mix with DJ Concept.
La Paz Toyota. Hit my head, hit my head, my head, hit my head, hit my head. Baby, you don't want hear me. Baby, you don't want see me. I get cars by the one by child. Even that. Wow, in case anything you go video I won't pay. Freeway, can you do your BRT? See person make your mount. Come out to one day. Me a big boy, be a my bitch in a crown. Me penny in Quadano. Me a me person in TikTok, go to when I approve. La Paz Toyota. Hey, hey, ma, hey, 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 hey. Hey.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable dishcloths that are hand-woven with eco-friendly 100% organic cotton. Tukis, handcrafted in India, will make a difference in your home, your life, and the lives of the Indian women who weave them with dignity and pride. Working to stand on their own 2 feet, Tukis are their labor of love. Go green with the best dishcloths available. That's Tukis. Order a 3-pack for less than $10 exclusively online at www.tukis.com. That's TOOCKIES. Tukis.com.
No one loves do-it-yourself projects more than I do, but you never want to cut or drill into a wall without knowing what's behind it. That's why I choose Zircon Corporation. As the #1 electronic hand tool company in the world, Zircon Super Tools help keep me and my crew safe and out of harm's way. From stud sensors and laser levels to metal detectors and electrical wiring sensors, sturdy and dependable Zircon tools are all I use. So whether renovating or redecorating, ask for Zircon by name at your local home improvement store. And should someone say, haven't seen you in a while, tell them, that's cause every time I come by, all the Zircon stud finders go off. Just kidding. Sort of. From odd jobs around the house to those bigger fall projects where you need a helping hand, it's good to know Zircon tools are within your reach and help you get the job done safely. Electronic tools are all they make, so they simply make them better. Remember, before any wall gets worked on, you'd better get a Zircon.
Mahalo Hawaii Deep Sea Drinking Water comes to you from the island paradise of Hawaii, 3,000 feet below the ocean surface, where the water is naturally clean, pure, cold, and filled with healthy minerals and nutrients. The deep sea water used for Mahalo drinking water is very old. It takes between 1,200 and 2,000 years for the water to travel to the North Atlantic Ocean through the freezing Arctic currents, under the vast glaciers of Greenland, where it gathers ancient minerals that leach down from the ice. Then it flows around and back down toward the deep channels of the Pacific Ocean. Mahalo Hawaii Deep Sea, purely the best water in the world. The official water for T Radio V. Log on to hawaiideepseawater.com. Mahalo.
You're listening to TRadioV.com, Denver.
I wanna thank my fans for support and let me blow, na na na. Lord, I give everything to you, my life and soul, na na na. I wanna thank my mom for bringing me into life, na na. I dedicate everything to you, my fans all over. See everything you see, now God they do, and I go do everything I can, I no go slow down. Hear me doing good, we run the show. Make we dance, make we party. We no send nobody. Let's party till morning. We no send nobody. Get up and dance to the music like you no send nobody. Let's party till morning. We no send nobody. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, everybody, this not brand new thing. Come around, come around. Let's celebrate. Lights one, bro. Yeah. Say right now I stand on my feet. Back then when say I no go reach, I kept on believing, God kept on giving out and they see me now. Them try bringing me down. They say I just smoky body, but God still they bless me. He kept on giving, nobody only, he kept on giving now. Man go stand by me, I wanna be sure. Say I wanna be me, I wanna be sure. Come on, we come, I saw all that you want over. When we want to be me, I wanna sorrow, yeah. I wanna thank my God for blessings and letting me go. I wanna thank my fans for support and letting me
New music from Wizkid. Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show.
Our eardrums.
Yeah, that's the point, man. That's the point. When we come out of break, you gotta let people know. Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show on tradiov.com and syndicated on My True Spot Radio. We have on the line Mohammed Alidu. Mohammed, how's it going?
Good, my brother. And you?
I'm good. How you? Mohammed, if people don't know, was born into a family lineage of talking drum chiefs. Now, where I come from, talking drums are the best things ever. So, talk to us about how you got into music. How did you get involved in music?
All right. Since I was a kid growing up, I was playing the talking drum, and for me, like, in this world, when you're growing up, you have something that a gift. You have to find out what this gift can do the rest of my life. How that can impact your life. So I listen to the talking drum when we play together, and when we play, the melodies that come out of it, it's hard to believe, it's hard to tell. So when I listen, I play my talking drum, I get my melodies, and I bring it out, tell people, the other musicians, to open it up into the Western instruments or into the world music that people can understand. Because music is rhythm,
Yes, sir.
and that is what we play. And when we play back home with the talking drums, it's we all in together. We play an ensemble, and the melodies that coming out is very unique. So I composed that melody to bring it out to Western instruments. Something that I can bring the talking drum to the world to understand. This drum is like the first instrument in Africa.
So how do you find that balance? Oh, sorry. How do you find that balance with the talking drums and what's going on in music right now? Because nowadays everything is done on a computer, or there's really no form of training in music anymore. It's just you can kind of download an app essentially to learn how to play something. So how do you find that balance?
Talking drum.
App for a tap, and then you too can become a chief.
Talking drum pro.
Talking drum iPad.
That's you're right, and that's why, like, for us in Africa, like today, that I'll try to bring it out to people, especially the young generation, to realize that there's no other easier way. When we talk about our elders back home, when they used to play, we're talking about musicians like the African musicians. Let's say in Nigeria, we're talking about fella. But nobody know how much. Yeah, man.
Correct guy. You be correct guy.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
So it's like it's something that like the young generation will not understand, because he put so much, and he's not here today with us in this world, but
we're still talking about him.
Spirit, we still talk about him, and that is what he put up for today. The hard work in music is not easy, man.
We love the originals.
So when I go home, like every year I'm back home in Ghana, when I'm home, I play with my family, I play with any group that my friends, my brothers, we grown up playing up. And I always tell them, man, we can't leave this. We have to show it to the young generation. Just like learning how to play guitar, you're going to get some part that the pain will come out. And that is the reality of it. That is what, like today in Ghana, we have songs that we could use our traditional rhythms, our traditional drums to carry it to the rest of the world,
Right.
And the identity is us to show it through the music, So, with putting those things together, I put up school in Ghana, in Tamale, my hometown, music school called Playing for Change Foundation, Bizung School of Music and Dance, and I'm sponsored by Playing for Change Foundation.
Seriously, Mohammed, you look like a Jamaican, let me tell you.
Oh yeah?
Yes. You don't look like a Ghanaian.
No.
You look like a
That's what he said
Jamaican.
about me.
And the guy keeps saying, Jama. Are you sure? You didn't fake us.
Are you sure you're not a pirated Ghanaian?
So, Mohammed, do you speak? Do you speak Pidgin?
Yeah, I speak pidgin.
Oh, so
if you just the yarn down through,
we can be yarning pidgin, right? Or she?
yeah, we feel talk and pidgin.
Chale.
Let me Jamaica pidgin. I dey suspect you, Mohammed. You be half caste. You be half caste.
So Mohammed, let me ask you this on a random note. Why is everybody in Ghana a chale? Everybody's a chale.
It is here.
It is brother. The chale become from like a guy, a guy. People friends want to say guy,
So that's the equivalent of.
We just
equivalent of oh boy for that
boy. But girls call themselves chale too. Yeah. Girls call themselves chale
so that one will be boys thing, eh?
Okay. Mohammed, I'm suspecting you be half caste, half Jamaica, half Ghanaian.
Mohammed, let me ask you though. On a serious note, I mean, first off, when I had people, use the talking drum, it's just it's something I don't know how you're able to make the drum do what it does. How hard was that for you to pick up? I know your whole family obviously was in it, so how hard was that for you to pick up? Or did you ever look into any other instruments outside of that? Maybe I wanted to do something else. How was that?
Yeah, I play at the instruments like drums, other percussion drums in Africa.
Okay.
Play a lot of different African drums, djembe, balungu, any drum. Nigerian, the what do you call the kroboto, the little one.
Yeah.
But the
gongo.
Gongo, all of that. I have all those drums because for me, when I start as a drummer, I want to be able to play any drum that I see in Africa because that's what I'm meant to be,
Right.
And so I don't let go of the talking drum. Make sure the talking drum is my first element. That's my first, what I'll come with first thing, because that's who I was born with. That's what I know best than anything else I will learn.
So, Mohammed, assuming like I'm using my mouth to do the drum now, what am I saying now?
Sorry? Where you say?
Dun 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 dun. I said Mohammed Jamaica.
Gafar is an idiot. I'm sorry.
Real quick, Mohammed, we're gonna play one of your videos. Real quick, we're gonna play one of your videos, and when we come back, we'll talk about your album from 2007, the African Traditional Music CD, and then we'll talk about living in Colorado. So we'll be right back after this video from Mohammed Alidu. You're watching Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show on TRadioV.com and syndicated on True Spot
Radio.
Welcome back to the show, Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show. That was a live show from Mohammed Alidu. Mohammed, talk to us about your 2007 album. What was the inspiration behind that album?
The Land of Fire album?
Yes.
2007 I did Land of Fire album actually. When I was living in London, I lived in London for 6 years, and I left London to Madagascar. And in Madagascar, I was shocked because there's no other drums there. There's no West African drums there, and they have some cool stuff. And it was very, very inspirational, So I started to build drums there, West African drums, djembe, and play my talking drum, and So then I had a group there together in Madagascar. I put a band together there. We played together like Madagascar stuff. I led the people from the town. Because we have the family group going on was called Quays. And it's like a brothers and sisters and nephew or cousin. In the band. So we all would get together.
How long were you in Madagascar?
I was there for 8 months.
Oh, okay.
Almost a year. Yeah, and so that's where I started to compose that stuff like songs. Like I compose Aika So there, Zabli, different songs there. And I left Madagascar, and when I left there, I came to Boulder, Colorado, and I started to continue my musical inspiration. What I started.
You just
put a band together.
You literally just jumped the gun. I was going to ask you, how did you move to Colorado? So how has it been like living in Colorado for you?
In Colorado, living there was, I had a family, we lived there, kids, we lived there, I have family there for a little while, we lived there, and Colorado was feel like a home to me, because for me, wherever you are, you make it at home as possible.
Yeah, that's true.
Safest place as much as possible. So it was great in Boulder, because Boulder is a small town, and I love the mountains, the trees. It's just like the African vibe. We wake up, you want to be in the woods sometimes.
Or you start chasing lizard around in the morning.
This guy won't wake up, chop pepper soup and palm. You won't wake up, chop pepper soup and palm wine.
Exactly, because Colorado was the place that I go get pepper soup, where I get some food to make my
I beg you, no go
bono soup,
Oh, but that's all.
Mohammed, no go kill Bonnie, no be like Africa.
So
that is where that I finished the album, and I called Land of Fire Africa, because the song Land of Fire also, I wrote that song, the lyrics in London. We used it and do different production, and the song, because it was means so much to us, how much in Africa, with the whole idea, the production was, how do we preserve what we have and appreciate it? Don't be looking forward for something else when you have something. Yeah. Look forward for something else to add to what you have. Don't deny or don't let go what you have.
Yeah, that's
so for us, for me, that's why I cut that song. I gotta make this song, compose it into the Western instruments, and then the band in Boulder, we composed the song. I bring the ideas, and this one decided to bring a line. Bass player bring a line. So we work together and put the songs together, and that is how the album come on, Land of Fire. Because for me, Africa is a great place.
Yes, sir.
We have so much, but so many
talent.
people have a fears in them to go there. And we Africans, we are everywhere in the world.
Yes.
Why can the world come to us too?
Let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk more to you about being an instructor at University of Colorado, your band in Boulder as well. So just stay on the line. We'll be right back in a moment. It's Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show on TRadioV.com and syndicated on My True Spot Radio. We'll be right back.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable dishcloths that are hand-woven with eco-friendly 100% organic cotton. Tukis, handcrafted in India, will make a difference in your home, your life, and the lives of the Indian women who weave them with dignity and pride. Working to stand on their own 2 feet, Tukis are their labor of love. Go green with the best dishcloths available. That's Tukis. Order a 3-pack for less than $10 exclusively online at www.tukis.com. That's TOOCKIES. Tukis.com.
No one loves do-it-yourself projects more than I do, but you never want to cut or drill into a wall without knowing what's behind it. That's why I choose Zircon Corporation. As the #1 electronic hand tool company in the world, Zircon Super Tools help keep me and my crew safe and out of harm's way. From stud sensors and laser levels to metal detectors and electrical wiring sensors, sturdy and dependable Zircon tools are all I use. So whether renovating or redecorating, ask for Zircon by name at your local home improvement store. And should someone say, haven't seen you in a while, tell them, that's cause every time I come by, all the Zircon stud finders go off. Just kidding. Sort of. From odd jobs around the house to those bigger fall projects where you need a helping hand, it's good to know Zircon tools are within your reach and help you get the job done safely. Electronic tools are all they make, so they simply make them better. Remember, before any wall gets worked on, you'd better get a Zircon.
Mahalo Hawaii deep sea drinking water comes to you from the island paradise of Hawaii, 3,000 feet below the ocean surface, where the water is naturally clean, pure, cold, and filled with healthy minerals and nutrients. The deep sea water used for Mahalo drinking water is very old. It takes between 1,200 and 2,000 years for the water to travel to the North Atlantic Ocean through the freezing Arctic currents, under the vast glaciers of Greenland, where it gathers ancient minerals that leach down from the ice. Then it flows around and back down toward the deep channels of the Pacific Ocean. Mahalo Hawaii Deep Sea, purely the best water in the world. The official water for T Radio V. Log on to hawaiideepseawater.com. Mahalo.
You're listening to TRadioV.com, Denver.
Oh, say,
Land of Fire by Mohammed Alidu. Welcome back to Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show on tradiov.com and syndicated on True Spot Radio. Mohammed, so
yes, sir.
Talk about what's the next thing coming up for you?
The next CD coming out?
What's next? What's next for you?
So this one coming out is gonna call Until Mama Calls.
Until Mama Calls.
Not Ground on Fire.
You see, the Africa, you know, when we were kids, when we play together in the night, when a full moon. I'm telling you, your father will not call you.
Yes.
Only your mama will call you to come home.
Or when you are
but
hungry.
when you don't listen, you come, then the papa will take care of you. Give you lashes, you know. So this next CD, the reason why I call it that because I want the rhythm. For me, you know, music. There's so many music play before I was born. Melodies. But you know what I believe I have, the gift that I have is rhythm. You know, I have rhythm that I believe that is very important in music. So for me, you know, like bring a lot of rhythms that people, unbelievable stuff, things that to make people want to move, they want to dance, it touch their heart, you know, and that's where they listen to.
Let me ask you this: will you incorporate the Azonto craze in Ghana into your new album? It's big right now. It's huge.
I know. Right now, that's what going on. And I'm leaving to go home in January. So I'm going to be working with some of the musicians like Obuo, you know, the Ghanaian, our Ghanaian musicians, president, which is one of the top guys there, you know. So I'll be doing some stuff with him. So we'll see what we come out together, you know. Put it to the next
How about this? Are you gonna do any?
So
are you gonna do any type of music with the Gangnam Style?
No, so what I'm doing is going home to also to do some shows in Ghana, alias Franti, because we have our Independence Day coming out soon in March, and so the Ghana also we just have election last Friday, and so we'll try to put our shows to educate ourselves more about community, the unity, you know, the freedom and justice that we believe, you know, and also I'll be back in March for the Ghana Independence Day in Denver. All that we're gonna be doing it, probably maybe either in the Boulder Theater or one of the.
You have to make sure you invite us.
Definitely. Well, yeah, I will, my brother.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? You have to come on the show. You're in Colorado. We're in Colorado. We have to have you on the show in studio.
Definitely.
One of these days, we definitely want to have you in studio. So with all that stuff coming up, how's that? You know, how do you set time aside? How do you set schedule aside with you being an instructor at University of Colorado?
Yeah, I was before because I stopped working at CU Colorado, the university last year. You know, because I've been traveling a lot with the band, performing different places, and you know, the schedule doesn't work no more with the university.
Yeah.
So I give up the job, and somebody else, one of my brother from Ghana, was to take place there. So I've been working on the new album, you know, because it's all live, drama playing, bass player. So it's a lot to deal with, you know, and definitely I get it to the place because when my band with Boulder, when I have the band, we practice a lot because I used to have my own studio there. You know, we have our own studio that we record there, we practice there.
Oh, nice.
So every day we put up a lot, and that album is get close. I'm very close. That
why don't we do this?
Bring it out next year.
Let's do this. Two things. I'm very greedy.
Yeah.
We not only want you to come in studio, we want to come to Boulder to watch you do a recording. Come hang out with you in Boulder. How about that?
That would be great.
Okay,
that would be great. Definitely, I'll send you invitation when
when you get back from Ghana in January. Want to thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. It's Mohammed Alidu.
Thank you so much.
Let people know where your website is, so where they can actually get your music and also get all the good stuff that you have. So what's your website?
The website is mohammedalidu.com because sometimes the bands and my band name is Bizung family. People have a hard time pronouncing Bizung, you know.
Yeah. So
that's the name of the band. But the website, because it's easier for people to remember Mohammed.
Alright,
you know,
so it's Mohammed
MohammedAlidu.com.
MohammedAlidu. ALIDU.com. All right, Mohammed, thank you for coming on the show, and you have a great week, my brother.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, that was
I'm
not
alone. I'm not alone.
But he said something that I actually liked. I want us to actually wrap up with that. He was talking about, you know, when mama calls. For those of us who, when we play football growing up as kids,
Man.
you know, there's no way.
I took that risk though.
I took that risk.
I would stay
every
I would
time. I
push
took
it.
that risk. I took that risk.
Sometimes when they tell you to go and grind pepper,
Yes.
you just put it one side, go and play soccer.
And then you spill the pepper.
When
You're
you're
like,
coming
oh
back.
my god,
Oh,
I'm
no.
dead.
The worst part is she's told you can't go out. You're not allowed to go out, and then you go out, and then before you get back home, you now run to the tap, and then you wash your feet because your feet's already brown and dirty. Oh man, you have to wash your feet and clean up. Then she's like, "Where did you go?" Oh no, I was just downstairs. Really?
Yeah, or sometimes you go, you're like, oh, when I got to the place, you know, their machine didn't work.
So I had to go
I had
somewhere
to walk
else.
about 15 blocks that way.
Your story is not always straight.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's funny about you saying that. My father always told us when we were younger, it's like before you start to lie,
Just be on the track.
just be on the right track. Because the moment you lie, she's like, just tell the truth, and we know what you did, and then you get your ass whooped. The moment you start to lie, you're gonna have to cover it up with another lie. You're gonna have to keep covering up with lies and lies. And after a while, you start telling the truth, and then all those lies don't add up anymore.
There was a funny incident actually that my mom told me to go grind the pepper, which I did, and I put it on the side of the field. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go in for one quick game.
Yep.
I ended up playing like 5 or 6. Well, after I finished playing,
The pepper was
I
gone.
went back. The pepper wasn't there. I was like, what? Who steals the pepper out of soccer field?
Somebody that needed it.
No. It was my mom. She came there with my
She
sister,
needed
saw
it.
me playing, didn't say anything, just took the pepper. Like, I need this. I'll meet you.
You guys
when I get
remember?
home.
You guys remember?
Your fate later.
2006 World
done.
Cup. 2006 World Cup. There was a commercial, an Adidas commercial. It was 2 kids. They were picking players, and they were picking like top players. It was just 2 kids playing in a slum. And then at the end of the commercial, the mother calls the kid, Jose. What? That means get your ass up here. You know, like, and he picks his ball, and then all the star players disappear. It was Beckenbauer, Zidane, all the, you know. So it just kind of shows you that even we went through that. On that note, I want to wrap up the show. I want to thank everybody for coming in today. Gotta wrap up the show on a nice note. Talking drums in the background, if you can't hear it, it's DJ Concepts, because we had Mohammed Alidu on the show, so we might as well end on that note. Thanks for coming out, guys. It's been a great Sunday.
Thanks to the crew that came on.
Thanks to the filming crew.
Thank you.
Steve has the camera like literally right in my face right now. Alright, on that note, it's Afrik Lounge, Africa's #1 online radio show. I want to thank everybody. Have a great week, and see you soon.
Muli mapegun.
Wọ́n sílẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ sí.
Muli mapegun.
Wọ́n sílẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ sí.
Muli masosokuso.
Masokoko gẹ́gẹ́ sí.
Mapegun. Ani, wọ́n lè má sọ sọ́kúsọ.